Indecisiveness is another one of those people-pleasing traits where you're always thinking, oh, is my decision okay? Will it offend someone? Will I have burdened them? It can be so frustrating when you ask someone a question, would you like this or this? And they're like, I don't mind. What do you think? Hi, my name's Catherine, and today we are talking about indecisiveness. Now, I have always been indecisive. I don't know if it's because I'm a Libra. We're known for being indecisive. But even as a child, I could not make a single decision. I'd be at my friend's house. Would you like vanilla ice cream or would you like strawberry? Whatever you think's best. Even now, would you like to go to a restaurant or would you like to just stay in and eat? What would you prefer? I annoy myself with being so indecisive. Well, how do we get over this? Because we know, don't we? We know we're annoying. And what is indecision? Well, indecision really comes from fear, okay? Now, I was meditating on this last night, and I think I've come up with a solution. So I was thinking about indecisions and why people are indecisive. Well, why are we indecisive? We're indecisive because we're afraid that we're going to make the wrong decision. It's our fear of being regretful over the decision that we make. And actually, although I'm talking about deciding which restaurant to go to or flavours of ice cream, we can even be indecisive about major life choices, can't we? I don't know whether to pick the English course or the history course, and if I pick that, will I regret that? And all these worries and fears go round in our heads, and we're so afraid of making that mistake. Now, why is it that some people can be decisive and they don't seem to be making mistakes? Well, because they've just made a decision and they've decided that they're going to go with that decision. So I've made that decision and I'm going to make that option work. Whatever option I've chosen, I'm going to make that option work. Because actually, it's also about understanding that when we're making a decision, there are various options in front of us. And it's not about choosing the right one or the wrong one. We can just choose one and go with it. We can choose a path forward and go with it. And if it does turn out that further along down the line you go, actually, this isn't working. Well, you know, that's life. We do. That's how life goes. We learn. We've learned, okay, well, that didn't work out for me. At least now I know. At least now I won't always be thinking, oh, I should have done that, because actually I've tried it and now I know it's not working. So if you can sort of relax a bit about the decision that you're making and think, it doesn't actually matter, yes, and just be sort of confident about making that decision. I'm just going to go with this, because we can overthink and overthink and overthink and overthink. And in the end, our brain is so frazzled because we've spent so much time overthinking and panicking and wondering if we're making the right decision. I mean, decisions are never good when they're made out of stress, yes? And so we're panicking, and then in the end we've got to make a decision because we have to. Our time has run out, and we go, okay, I'll go with that. And we're going with that, but we're not going with that wholeheartedly. We're going with that going, I'm not sure about that. And so therefore, actually the outcome is less likely to be a positive one because we haven't gone, right, I'm going with that, boom. Yeah, we've gone, I'm going with that, but I'm still not sure. So you might say to me, yeah, but I can't decide. I've got a major decision coming up in my life and I just don't know what to do. I don't know how to choose that or that. Yeah, maybe you are choosing about which university you want to go to. Maybe you're choosing about which course you want to study. Maybe you're choosing whether you want this person in your life or whether you don't. Yeah, all these decisions and you're panicking about it. So what is the solution? Okay, so I'm going to talk you through my train of thought that came to me last night, and I've been thinking about it, and I think this is a pretty surefire way of making a good decision. So, as I said, our decisions are, it's a fear. Fear is behind the decision, isn't it? Yeah, I'm worried if I make this decision. So now, if you've watched any of my other videos, you will know how I talk about fear is an illusion. Yes? So, for example, let's come up with an example. I've got to make a choice whether to study English or history. Yeah? My fear behind making that decision is, although I love English, I'm good at history, and I'm worried that if I choose English over history, that I'll be making the mistake because actually I'm probably better at history than I am at English. And so I'm fearful of choosing English because I'm worried it will all go wrong. Yeah? So what we're going to do is we're going to look at that. We're going to say, okay, well, that's my fear. Okay, so my choice is, do I study English or do I study history? Now I'm going to remove all those fears around that choice, because fear is just something we create in our mind. Yeah, someone else might go, oh yeah, I'm gonna study English because I love it, right? And they don't have any fear around the choice. Yeah, but fear is something we've created. Okay, so we're gonna like lift the fear up and we're gonna put it over there. Okay, so I'm going to put all the fears around the what ifs, should I, could I, all that sort of stuff, I'm going to just leave over there. And now I'm going to concentrate on what is the choice. The choice is, should I study English or should I study history? Okay? So, with that fear out the way, what do you want to study? Well, I want to study English because I love it. But, oh, no, we're not doing the buts, yeah? You want to study English because you love it. There's no but, okay? There's no but, right? You will want to go but you don't. Right? This is what you don't do. You've already made the decision. Yeah? I want to study English because I love it. Decision made. Okay? Right. Okay, let's go to another decision. Should we go to a restaurant tonight or should we just eat in? Okay, so your boyfriend's asking you, do you want to go to a restaurant tonight or do you want to eat in? Now, what you actually want to do, because it's winter time and you're cold and you've had a long week and you're feeling a little bit like you just like hibernating, you actually would love just a cozy night in. But you don't want to disappoint him. You're worried that if you say, yes, can we just have a night in, that maybe he'll think you're boring, maybe he'll think you never want to do anything, maybe he'll be really disappointed because actually he was secretly hoping to take you to a restaurant and surprise you with something or whatever. Okay, so you've got all these thoughts running around in your head about how you're going to cause your boyfriend major disappointment if you answer truthfully. Yeah, so now you're going, maybe we should just eat out. Yeah, you actually don't know what he wants. He could also be feeling exactly the same as you and grateful to have an evening in. Yeah, but your mind is going, oh, he's going to think I'm a nightmare if I choose staying in. So then you're like, oh, maybe we should eat out. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take that choice, yeah, eat, I'm squeaking now, eat out or stay in, yeah. We're going to take all those worries, all those panics, all those fears over what he might think or he might feel, and we're going to put them over there. So now you're left with just the choice. Do you want to stay in or do you want to eat out? What do you want to do? Well, I want to stay in. Boom. That's it. Your choice is made. Boom. Yeah, because if he'd really wanted to stay in or he'd really wanted to go out, he would have said, oh, let's go out tonight. Yeah? But he didn't. He gave you the choice because he doesn't mind. Yeah? You're just not, you just don't, your self-worth is too wrapped up in your people pleasing. Yeah? You're just too worried about what he might think. But actually what he really wants is he wants you to make that decision. So you go, yeah, hi, actually, you know what? I've had a long week. I'd love to just stay in and be cozy with you. Great, right? Decision made. So you see, once we start taking away that fear, those strong emotions, those feelings like of being a burden around the decision making, then we can just make the decision. And it's great when you can be decisive, because let's face it, the indecisive part of me, I just can't bear. It makes me look so flaky. And I don't want to look flaky. Do you want to do this? You decide. Yeah, it just looks ridiculous. It's nice to sort of show someone that you have enough conviction to be able to make a decision for yourself. I always used to like to surround myself with people who were very decisive because I couldn't make a decision. And so I would love a bossy or dominant person around me who would go, right, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're doing that. And I'll think, oh, thank goodness I don't have to make a decision. Right? But we're improving ourselves, aren't we? So I want you to have a little think today about a decision that perhaps you've got coming up you need to make, or maybe just as you go about your day and you're shopping and you've come across two items that you're thinking of buying. Try that method out. Try making that decision by taking away all the fear and all the emotion away from it. You're not going to allow no buts, no ifs, no what ifs, no should. Yeah, that's all being thrown out the window, and you are just going to make that decision based on the question. And let me know how you get on. Let's see if this is a great solution for our indecisiveness. I've already made a decision using this, so I think it works. Okay, thanks so much for being with me today. As always, I'm so grateful to have you here. Please do comment. I always love to hear from you. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, because it really does help my channel, and I'm ever so grateful. So finding that peace within so we can send all that love out. Have a wonderful day. Bye.